Hello everyone, I'm Jenni Matthews, Head of Marketing for MRI On Location for Footfall Analytics, formerly known as MRI Springboard, and I'd like to share with you the monthly highlights from the last month or so. MRI Software is a leading provider of real estate software solutions that transform the way communities live, work and play. MRI's open and connected AI-first platform empowers owners, operators and occupiers in commercial and residential property organisations to innovate in rapidly changing markets. We have been a trailblazer in the PropTech industry for over 5 decades, serving more than 6 million users worldwide. In this short webinar, we take a look at footfall performance throughout October 2023, where footfall continued to slow across UK retail destinations and dipped below the annual level for the first time across all destination types, an indicator that consumers are well and truly feeling the pinch as we head into the golden quarter. Footfall across UK retail destinations continued to decline for the second consecutive month by -0.2% from September to October, and in high streets the month-on-month decline was -1.1%, which was an improvement from a decline of -3.2% from August to September. This suggests that consumer spend is slowing as shoppers are well and truly feeling the pinch, which doesn't bode well as we head into the festive period. Whilst reports show that inflation rates are slowing, this doesn't negate the economic challenges facing consumers, such as growing household bills in general, but more specifically, higher energy bills as we head into winter. For many, fixed-rate mortgages are also coming to an end, or have come to an end for many, which means an increase in borrowing, further impacting monthly disposable income. The economic challenges facing consumers is also reflected in the annual performance. Footfall fell by -1.3% across all UK retail destinations from 2022 in October. This is the first annual drop in footfall witnessed by the retail intelligence experts at MRI Software since emerging from the depths of the pandemic back in April 2021. The annual result has been weakening across all UK retail destination types since June of this year, as it has in high streets, which is now 2% lower than last year. Despite footfall performance weakening in October, the gap from the 2019 level narrowed in high streets to -11.9% from -12.8% in September, which may well be attributed to the final week of October, when half-term occurred in many regions across the UK, contributing to that much-needed boost. October was ravaged by storms, which led to significant disruption for the high street in the first 3 weeks of the month. Rail strikes will also have influenced this trend at the start of the month. However, Storm Babette in the third week of the month, which is week 42, brought with it nationwide disruption, discouraging shoppers from visiting outdoor retail destinations. The final week of October, which coincided with a half-term school holiday in parts of the UK, prevented this result from being much more severe, as high street footfall rose by 10.5% from the week before, offsetting the average decline of -3.3% in the preceding 3 weeks. I'm now going to touch on the impact of the storms throughout October and how this impacted footfall performance across all destination types, including high streets. Week commencing the 15th of October, which was the week before half-term for many parts of the UK, saw the arrival of Storm Babette, which impacted footfall across all retail destination types, but particularly hitting high streets the hardest, with footfall dropping by 6.2%. Footfall fell each day during that week from the week before, with declines increasing each day, particularly from Wednesday onwards, which is when Storm Babette swept across the country, mainly the east of England. As you can see from this chart, shopping centres were also impacted, but more so the smaller centres, under 100,000 square feet, where footfall declined by around 5%, and this would have been expected as many of the smaller centres are found in town centres. Retail parks and larger shopping centres remained resilient, and that's purely down to the fact that they are easily accessible by car and will feel the impact of extreme weather changes much less than outdoor-based destinations such as high streets. If we look at the recovery in the week following Storm Babette, we can instantly see a rebound in activity across all destination types, And again, high streets feeling the benefits with footfall rising by around 10%. What is encouraging is that not all of this will have been a bounce back from the storm, as it was also the half-term holiday across parts of the UK, so this will also have contributed to the boost in footfall. Unfortunately, the recovery was short-lived across all destination types, with Storm Ciarán arriving through the south of England in the following week, which wiped out all of the gains made and had a heavier impact than Storm Babette. We can see that high street footfall fell by around 8% versus 6% in week 42, and even retail parks were hit with footfall declining marginally. I'm now going to take a closer look at the regional impact of the storms and how this affected high street performance across the country. We can clearly see here how each region was impacted by Storm Babette. The east of England took the greatest hit with a 9% decline in footfall. However, the southeast and southwest fared better with declines averaging around 2.5%. We then look at the recovery in the following week, which is depicted by the green line, and all regions rebounded, with some witnessing increases more than 10 times of the decline in the week before. But it's also worth remembering that half-term across different regions will have also bolstered these numbers. Again, this recovery was short-lived, with Storm Ciarán arriving in the south of England the following week, which can be clearly seen with an average drop of 14% across the southeast and southwest. It's also worth noting that the return to school in week 44 would also have had a knock-on effect on high street footfall. So what does this mean for the overall month-on-month trend? Even though footfall fell by around 1% from September, the decline wasn't as severe as we would have expected given the week-on-week data. Much of this can be attributed to a boost of around 10% in the final week of the month, as many regions participated in the half-term holiday. Annually, high streets have witnessed a gradual decline in recent months, and this is in line with the overall trend we're seeing in the On Location Footfall Index, which comprises of all three destination types we monitor, including high streets, shopping centres and retail parks. Footfall fell below the 2022 level by 2% in high streets versus a decline of 1.3% in the On Location Footfall Index. But not all of this will be attributed to the poor weather. The gradual decline in footfall year on year is likely to be a result of consumers feeling the pinch, as the impact of the cost of living crisis affects spending power, and this is supported by GfK's latest Consumer Confidence Index, which I will touch on in a moment. So, as we've mentioned, even though inflation is slowing, many consumers will have had their fixed rate mortgages end in recent months, and this means they now have an additional £400 to £500 spend each month. And in addition to this, as we approach winter, we can't forget the higher heating and energy bills being added to it. With less than 8 weeks until Christmas, attention now turns to how the retail sector will fare this festive season. GfK's Consumer Confidence Index highlighted a fall in consumer confidence by 9 points to -30 from September, indicating that the cost of living crisis is indeed affecting consumers' ability to spend. Further supporting this, MRI Software's Insights from the Inside, which is a weekly survey of its 700 retailers, revealed that 64% of retailers anticipate sales in November will be lower this year compared with last year as shoppers curb spending. However, retailers have an opportunity to be creative in enticing consumers into their bricks and mortar destinations over the festive period, offering memorable experiences and the chance to snap up some bargain purchases amidst the cost of living crisis and spending constraints. If these monthly insights have whetted your appetite for more, then be sure to head online to subscribe for our benchmarks and get them delivered directly to your inbox weekly or monthly, or check out our resource library for the latest on-demand content. Thank you so much for your time.